A very good afternoon, and thanks for clicking on to the Wednesday edition of Vogan's European Outlook. Hope everybody is well thus far on Hump Day. Looking at a tweet from Tom Saunders, a meteorologist out of Australia, and his latest tweet is quite eye-catching and something you won't see on mainstream media when it comes to climatic affairs. Why don't we eat on the balcony today? Victoria snow depth data shows that it's the best start to a season, i.e., snow, on record for Falls Creek and Hotham. I would imagine that would be how you pronounce it, and the best since 2000 for Mount Buller. A very, very interesting, chilly start to the winter season down under, and it's going to be interesting to see as we go forward, keeping an eye on the progress of their winter down there. Looking at the sea surface temperature anomalies for today, a few interesting things worth noting. Very warm still across the northeast Atlantic. Cool now developing quite widely across the North Atlantic to the west of that warm area, and that could be interesting as we go into the summer season, because I'm really starting to sweat more and more towards the potential for lower pressure over that warm water, higher pressure over the cool water. I think if you've read the summer forecast, if you've been watching the videos in the last couple of days, I think you've got a pretty good idea where I'm kind of going with this summer overall. Very warm waters in the Mediterranean, and when you've got very warm water around and just to the west of the UK, just to the south of the UK as well, and you've got very warm waters over the Mediterranean, I think what we'll start to see is high pressure becoming more drawn to that warm water, and we're going to see quite often surges of very hot air getting transferred northwards. But I also think we're going to lower pressure over that warm water around the UK, and we'll watch this space anyway. I could be wrong, but I've just got this feeling. Looking at the global temperature anomaly here, this is the month to date, so the opening week of June, and a very warm, basically around the Mediterranean basin. We've got a warm anomaly here, as you can see, very warm compared to normal over Italy. I know that's a bit hard to see, but you can see here the general emphasis on warmer than normal across Europe. We've got a slight hint of cooler than normal across much of England and Wales, slightly warmer than normal western Scotland, strong area of cool over the north of Asia. We've also got an equally strong area of cool over Manitoba, Canada. Also, Greenland is quite cold as well, so that's quite interesting to see. And we've got this big divide over the Antarctic continent as well. Very warm here, very cold to the east of that as well, so that's quite interesting to see. The NAO is expected, according to the GFS Ensemble anyway, expected to go into negative territory. And if you look at the models, by the way, the modelling is indicating a ridge of high pressure starting to build westwards over the North Atlantic, and that would of course set up a trough over the British Isles. We have seen the first of two areas of low pressure now moving across the British Isles, a band of rain sweeping northeast through last night and this morning. That will eventually start to kind of get exiting. It's lifting north over Scotland, but it's fading as it moves into higher pressure. So we're going to start to see that dissipate. Then, of course, it's all eyes on tomorrow and Friday, ex-tropical storm Alex. That will stay off shore, but we are going to see some fairly strong winds, or seasonably strong winds for the time of the year, up the west side of the British Isles and Ireland as well. So we'll keep our eyes on that. But it's certainly going to be quite an interesting summer, I think, overall. And are we going to start to see the change taking place with regards to the overall pattern, the long-term pattern I'm talking about? Are we going to start to see things changing? Because if you look at the 14 days, so this is the last 2 weeks, and you can see here a fair amount of cool globally here in the last fortnight taking place. And if you look at Europe here, the British Isles and indeed Ireland for the last fortnight has actually been cooler than normal. And that to me, folks, is very significant because when you look at the year to date, we have got still a warmer than normal Europe overall. The only area that's average is over far eastern portions of Europe, but we've got a very warm anomaly. We had a very warm start in 2022, of course, but the past fortnight, is it a blip or is it something changing longer term? And when you've got the NAO expected to go negative and the ridge of high pressure to build westwards, with troughiness then becoming more established over the British Isles as we head into the middle portion of June. Remember, I showed you in yesterday's video the CFSV2 hinting at week 2 a wetter than normal pattern. So, very interesting, that's for sure, when it comes to the long term stuff as we go forward here. So that's it for today, short and sweet. Hope you have a good rest of your Wednesday, and I'll endeavour to be back again tomorrow with more. Bye for now.